Good morning. It's December 20th today, and we're in the book of Haggai. And Haggai is one of the post-exilic prophets. That means he's writing to the people after they've returned from captivity in Babylon. They've been there for 70 years, and when they return to the land, it's only a partial return. A lot of people will stay back in Babylon. They will have gotten comfortable there, learn the language, actually raise their kids there. And so many of them will actually stay and not return to the land, but others will. And it's the brave few who start off there. And when they return to the land, it's been basically empty for 70 years. And so things have really deteriorated. They'll have to rebuild houses. They'll have to make sure that the vineyards and all of the planting, everything that they're going to do for crops and harvests, so will have to be restarted. And so you can understand it'd be a somewhat desperate situation when they get there. And yet the Lord is calling to the people through his prophets to remember their priorities. If they don't, if they fall back into the same kinds of patterns and sins that they had before the exile, they're going to end up back there again. And so the prophets are very much telling the people, you need to make sure that when you come back physically, you're also coming back spiritually to the Lord. And so that's what Haggai starts out with. He says in Haggai chapter 1, verse 5, says this, "Now this is what the Lord Almighty says. Give careful thought to your ways. You have planted much, but harvested little. You eat, but never have enough. You drink, but never have your fill. You put on clothes, but are not warm. You earn wages only to put them in a purse with holes in it. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Give careful thought to your ways. Go up into the mountains and bring down timber and build my house, so that I may take pleasure in it and be honored, says the Lord. You expected much, but see, it turned out to be little. What you brought home, I blew away. Why, declares the Lord Almighty? Because of my house, which remains a ruin, while each of you is busy with your own house." And so on the one hand, you can understand that they would be busy building their own houses and establishing themselves again in the land. But God says your priority has to be with the things of God rather than the things of man. And if you bless me, God says, then I will bless you. And so if you get about the business that you're supposed to be concentrating on, then all those other things will fall into place. And of course, there's direct application to that in our lives too. If we put God last in our lives, then we can expect nothing from him. If we put him first, then everything else falls into place. This is even the concept behind the tithe. The tithe was supposed to be the offering from the first fruits of your harvest or the first of your labors, whatever that might be. And so if you bring that to the Lord first, what you're demonstrating is that you trust him for every other aspect of your life. If you give to him out of the very beginnings of your wages, then all the rest of it will be marked as relying on him for his provision in that. And so that's the place that we want to be. We want to make sure that we are taking care of God's things first. Then everything else falls into place after that. And that's really the message at the beginning of Haggai here.